Hey, it's me again. I just wanted to kind of do a little video of just kind of some of the things that are different about France and the U.S. Like for me right now that I've found out. You guys will hear about it when I get home, but still, for me, the biggest difference here in France is definitely the high school. For some of you guys who probably don't know, I'm in high school again. I'm not even a senior. I haven't told many people that, but I'm not even a senior. I'm in the lower class. There's 3 levels. I'm not going to explain the entire system because that would take an entirely long video. But actually, there's no high school quite like the U.S. American high school. So French high school is strictly studying and listening to a teacher and taking notes and then taking the test. So, and you're with the same 30 kids in most of all your classes. You get electives, but so yeah, and the bathrooms at the school, they're for boys and girls. The boys and girls both use the same bathrooms. And the toilet paper is located outside of the bathroom, so you actually have to get your toilet paper and then go into the stall. And then sometimes a guy will be walking in while you're walking out, and then I forget am I in the guy's bathroom, and then I have to walk out and look at the sign, and it just says wash closets. They have 2-hour break for lunch, which is one of the more positive things, and my school schedule is basically from 8 to about 5 or 6, Monday through Saturday. Saturday, I actually only have school from 8 to 12, but nonetheless, I have school on Saturday. Sometimes I get done as early as 11, sometimes I get done as late as 6. So there's pluses and minuses. I sleep a lot in between classes because you'll have class from 8 to 11, but then you have to go back from 3 to 5 or 3 to 6, and it's just okay, what am I going to do for that long time? But everyone has lunch from 12 to 2, depending on their schedule, but generally everyone has a 2-hour lunch because French really stop and appreciate their food. Where we live, at least in my house, we eat when we can, but here you stop everything you're doing and you eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And lunch and dinner are 5-course meals. You've got your entree, and then you've got your plate, and then you've got your cheese and bread. Stop, take a break, we gotta eat our cheese and bread. Then you've got your dessert, and then they have coffee, which is, their coffees are this big. It's not because we're fat or Americans make things bigger, but it's just because they take just the little espresso, that's all they need. Because in America, our coffees have a lot of water, so they take out all the water and it's just a straight shot of coffee, and they have those 3 times a day. So yeah, the meals are really, really long. If anyone ever told you that French food is really small and petite, they lied. Actually, the nicer the restaurant, I guess the less food you get, but in general, they eat very big portions and they eat a lot of seconds. It's not that they overeat or anything, they just really like their food, and it's really good food too, and everything's really fresh, no preservatives, no artificial flavorings, and the desserts are really rich and really good. So food, school, those are big differences. The architecture here is really amazing. It's really old because obviously the US is a very young country. We don't have stuff from the 18th, 17th century. So it's really cool walking around on the streets and just seeing that stuff. In my town, it's really easy to get around town. I take the tram, I take the bus, it depends, but there's no necessity for a car here, and no one really drives at my age. They can get their license at 18, but it's really expensive, and you have to be able to drive a stick shift. Everyone knows how to drive a stick shift here, and it actually would probably be really hard to get your license here because the test would probably be really hard because all the streets are one way, so you have to maneuver your way around this town. If you want to go from my house to the supermarket that's just down the street, you can't take that street because it's one way, so you have to go this way and that way and that way and eventually make a big circle to go somewhere that's like walking distance. So it's really inconvenient to have a car here, and parking downtown is like really difficult. So school, food, driving, architecture, those are some of the main things. They're not as like up on technology. Like they have everything that we have technology wise, but it's not as important for them. Like if you go to a class in LD, you've got 75% of the students with iPhones. Here, 75% of the students have some random pay-as-you-go phone that they don't really care if they have a smartphone. Or, I don't know, like, I just noticed that no one really cares, like, about what kind of phone they have, or maybe that's just me being a tech geek. I don't know. But, yeah, so not everyone has an iPhone like we do in the States, like it's breathing. Yeah, those are just some off the top of my head big differences. Yes, they have Christmas. Yes, they have Easter. Yes, they have Valentine's Day. Yes, they have Halloween. They just don't celebrate them as extremely as we do. No, they do not have Thanksgiving because that is strictly a holiday for Canada and the United States, but Canada celebrates it on a different day, and it's a little bit different, but they still nonetheless call it Thanksgiving. Yeah. I think that's just kind of a briefing of some of the things that I found that are a little bit different here. Yeah, okay. So on that note,